Welcome to the FWOT Show on the Coil Entertainment Network, the Happy Hour Network, VillageConnectionRadio.com, iTunes, the Google Play Store, and wherever you happen to find podcasts. I am the omnipresent Rob Steele, that's Jesus Jones in the background, and this is the show that lets you know that it's not just you. Minor change. The United States has actually lost its collective mind, as evidenced by Major League Fishing being a thing. Seriously? That's what we're starting with, this Major League Fishing. I know it's a stupid idea. We can do better than that. As evidenced by the supporters of Donald J. Trump, the man who claims to be president, although he somehow lost the election and still ended up in the office. Weird thing there. This past Tuesday was July 4th, Independence Day in the United States. And so to celebrate National Public Radio, which most people know as NPR, that's what it stands for. Did you know that? Not if you're a Trump supporter, you didn't. NPR sent out a series of tweets because that's all that Trump supporters are capable of reading. Yeah. The series of tweets was actually the Declaration of Independence in its entirety, line for line. Unfortunately, thousands of Trump supporters went after NPR, claiming that the broadcaster was inciting violence and possibly even revolution. Except they weren't. It's just the Constitution. Maybe you so-called American patriots might want to read it sometime, or at least watch the Schoolhouse Rock episode. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. In other unexpected Trump news, granted, at this point, I think we should probably expect it. He arrived in Poland this week for a session of the 3 Seas Initiative Summit. And right there, on the side of the biggest building in Warsaw, a big laser light sign that says, "No Trump, yes Paris." Who put that up there? That would be Greenpeace. The same people who put up a projection on a building in France when Trump left the summit a couple months ago that had a silhouette of Trump and read, hashtag, total loser, so sad, and signed it Greenpeace. I thought that was a nice touch. Was he expecting that? No. Did he understand what it meant? No. I mean, all but 3 countries on the planet agreed with the Paris Agreement. And one of those that said they wouldn't agree with it said, we can't agree with it on principle because it doesn't go far enough. Why did the U.S. not agree with it? Because Trump is a moron. You want proof of that? How's this? When Trump returned from Poland, he got out of the airplane and walked down the steps and almost into the limousine that is at the bottom of the steps, waiting for him. Instead, he decided to wander off down the runway, apparently thinking he is an airplane himself, before a Secret Serviceman stopped him and said, "No, sir, that's your car. You're supposed to get in it. The one at the bottom of the stairs, parked there just for you." And he looked confused. There's video. Find it. Enjoy it. Because it's kind of funny. As opposed to things like the Environmental Protection Agency undoing another environmental regulation. This one is the clean water rule. Really? They're getting rid of the clean... Because, hey, who needs clean water? Of course, this is the same group that did what they did to Flint, Michigan. Let's just do it on a nationwide scale. And they wonder why we can't pass their health care bill. Because they don't seem to know what it is. There was a Republican senator this week who said, and I will quote, Trump might not have a grasp of health care. I don't think he has a grasp of hair care, much less health care. I don't think he's that good with math either, and unfortunately, I think that's rubbing off on everybody else, because in Missouri, Republicans kind of wandered into this whole minimum wage debate thing and said, I know exactly what we should do, and proceeded to lower the state minimum wage. That's right, they lowered it. Because people in Missouri don't need money. That's for the rich. Why would they possibly need money if they're... See, this is the whole thing. They don't understand in the slightest what the people need. Chris Christie is proof of that. It's summertime. What do people want to do in the summer? They want to go on vacation. They want to go have fun. Where do a lot of people go? They go to the beach. So what did Chris Christie do? He closed New Jersey state beaches and then went to the beach himself. That prick. Why did he do that? Well, because he can, apparently. Did it make people in New Jersey happy? No. No, I suspect it didn't. Can we finally vote him out now? Now that he's taken away your Jersey Shore? Thankfully, no word on what Snooki thought of the whole thing. Is that really a name? Wants to be called Snooki. What the hell? Other things that went wrong in Trump's world this week. They tried to have a rally to support the alleged president. And by they, I mean a group called, I'm not making this up, Gays for Trump, which to me is kind of like slugs for salt. Pyromaniacs for fire extinguishers. It just seems counterproductive. And it turned out to be very counterproductive. There was a picture of the rally. They were expecting thousands of people to show up to support the president. And if you count the cameraman, they got 15. Don't believe me? Look it up. I'm staring at the picture right now and counting them. It just goes along with that whole Trump inauguration. Look, my thing is bigger than Obama's. No, it's not. It's horrifically small. Just like your brain, Don Boy. CNN reports that earlier this week, he said that no one knows about election tampering. It could have been Russia. It could have been other countries. Well, you know what, Don? Either way, that makes the election invalid. Get the hell out of the office. Doesn't understand this. And who is supporting him at this point anyway, other than the people in his administration, if you want to call it that? Things are just not right in Trump's world. Although there was an incident last week in Arkansas where there was a rap concert at the Power Ultra Lounge in Little Rock, where there was a gang-related shooting that injured 28. So far, no one has claimed to have died yet, although I'm not really sure how someone is going to claim they're dead. I'm just saying. Sloppy reporting. Oh wait, it's Fox. Regardless, many people associated with this said, oh, it's not terrorism, it's just gang-related. Oh, gang-related. No Muslims were involved, so it must not be a terrorist thing. You know what? People inside this club, I can pretty much guarantee, were terrified. Therefore, the people who were doing the shooting are terrorists. We need to buy these reporters a dictionary and make them read it. Perhaps while we're at it, we can look up the prefix pre, because I'm trying to figure out how the GOP can claim that things like pregnancy is a pre-existing condition, according to their new so-called healthcare bill. Unless you're a tribble on Star Trek, pregnancy is not a pre-existing condition. C-sections and postpartum depression are not pre-existing conditions either. They are in the bill. And you'd think postpartum depression. Post is the opposite of pre, and if it's post, it says so in the name, postpartum depression. How can postpartum be a pre-existing condition? Do they read their health care bill? No. That's the reason your bill isn't passing, Republicans. It's because it's crap. Not because, as you're claiming now, Hillary's in the way. Hillary Clinton is the reason the health care bill isn't passed. Really? Okay, the election was several months ago. And technically you did lose, even though you got the office. Whatever. Hillary has nothing to do with it. That, however, did not stop Republicans this week from tweeting, oh yeah, Hillary? Well, if you're doing so good with the health care bill, why haven't we seen yours yet? Why haven't we seen it? Because that's the way the junior high crowd that we have in the GOP likes to run things. So when they said, Hillary, where's your health care bill? Hillary responded in her own tweet, quote, right here, includes radical provisions like how not to kick 23 million people off their coverage. Feel free to run with it. And here was a link attached to her tweet. Oops, she had a plan, which seems to be a hell of a lot more than the Republicans did. And she seems to know a lot more about healthcare than Republicans, who, by the way, passed this through North Carolina. It is now legal for men to finish sex even if consent is revoked. Because right now, if a woman says no, that means no, like it does on the rest of the planet. But in North Carolina, if a woman says no, even halfway through, then it cannot be considered rape, even though it is. And this is allowed to happen in the United States. Land of the free, unless you need health care or rape protection. What the hell happened to us? Let's move over a state and go to Memphis. Memphis International Airport, where a Chattanooga resident named Hannah Cohen was arrested by TSA. Why? Well, the 19-year-old was headed back to Chattanooga after a treatment for a brain tumor at St. Jude's Hospital. It's something she's done quite frequently over the past 17 years. Now, Hannah is, unfortunately, a little bit on the disabled side. She's partially deaf, blind in one eye, paralyzed, and easily confused. And what did TSA do? They said, oh, she set off a metal detector, tackled her, handcuffed her, beat her a little bit, and hauled her to jail. Now, she was with her mother, who was attempting to tell TSA agents what was going on, and they chose not to listen. Which reminds me, this segment of the show is brought to you by United Airlines. United Airlines. Yeah, even we're not going to do that. News from the Hobby Lobby front. You remember Hobby Lobby, the place that said, no, you can't have health insurance because you work here? Just because, something about birth control and being generally human and doing the Christian thing. I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, the Department of Justice is in the process of suing Hobby Lobby for smuggling ancient Iraqi artifacts into the country and selling them in their stores. Yeah, not making that up. But other news out of the Middle East this week comes from Afghanistan, which is kinda next door, a little bit, over there, sorta. It comes from Afghanistan's all-girl teenager robotics team, who were not allowed into the United States for a robotics competition. Because, they're from Afghanistan? That's the only excuse that was given. Welcome to America, land of the free, home of the brave. Oh wait, you're from the Middle East, gotta go home. Tech news. Pokemon Go. Yes, the wonderful online Let's Play It With My Phone app just turned 1 year old. And the only reason I'm really bringing it up is because of the number of people who play this. The statistic I thought is staggering. 65 million people play this game every month. Now let's put it in perspective. Uber, that app you use to get the cab from somebody who's not a cab driver, yeah, don't use your phone to talk to strangers and get in their car. That app only has 40 million people use it a month. Or how about Blizzard, the company that makes games like World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Hearthstone, Diablo, StarCraft, and I've lost track of how many other games that are all played online, combined have about 41 million users a month, compared to Pokemon Go at 65 million. That's a lot of people. And that is some interesting tech. And speaking of interesting tech, there is a website that is allowing you to use interactive toys. What you see on your website is able to be recreated in your hands with these toys, which is a really interesting concept. It is a physical feeling virtual reality experience. I should warn you, however, that the website is called Pornhub, and the technology is sex toys, because I think, as we all know, pornography always leads the way in technology. Okay, how about a happier one? Volvo, which kind of sounds like a sex toy, but isn't, announced earlier this week that they are going to have all electric cars by 2019, because some companies realize that the environment is a good thing, and if we get rid of it, then everyone will be dead, and we won't have anyone to sell to anymore. Maybe the Republicans could take a note from that. If you think that's a good idea, or if you think that's a bad idea, or if you just have any other comments concerning the show, go ahead and email me, rob@thefwotshow.com, or head to the FWOTshow.com website and click on the buttons for Facebook or Twitter. They go right to me. Leave me messages. I'll answer anything, because it's my job. And while you're there, don't forget to click on the buttons for, iTunes and the Google Play Store and subscribe to the show because it helps me out and I would appreciate it. Or you could always go to the FWOT shop. Pick up a shirt or a hat or maybe even a coffee mug. Because we've got coffee mugs. FWOT Show logo on the side, nice and pretty and everything. I'd like to go ahead and thank Jesus Jones for doing the theme song in the background and let you know a programming note. This coming Tuesday, there will be an extra episode of the FWOT Show. Keep an eye out for that. There's even going to be video for this one. I'll make sure everybody who subscribed gets to see it. And as always, pass the show around because it's free and it's fun. And I am going to leave you with something I do occasionally. It is a compilation of the worst headlines I've read in a while. They're not terrible. It's just that they could have used a lot of editing on this. These were consecutive headlines I came across while working on the Cinema Savants show, which is coming out Sunday. Consecutive headlines on a major movie news website read, headline number 1, Why the Second Last Jedi Trailer is a Long Way Off. Headline number 2, New Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer coming soon. Right. Well done, guys. You know what? Have a good week, everybody, and remember to be safe because it's getting really weird out there.